Okay guys, so at long last, I am finally back from doing my exams. It's been a really long time now, a couple of months, but I am finally back and I'm filming this on the 16th of June, which is one day earlier than I said I would actually be making my return video. So hopefully I can get this video up before the 17th. But in today's video, we've got plenty to talk about, but before I get into that, I am just going to do a basic update on all the reptiles, and then we'll talk about what's going to be happening over the coming weeks. So let's get straight into the video. So as ever, the first animal in this reptile room tour is going to be Speckles the leopard gecko. Now, Speckles' setup, you may remember that I was having some problems with it before I went on a break. And the problems were that the cleanup crew, or the custodians, basically the woodlice and mealworms, were not cleaning up his fecal matter, so the setup really wasn't doing well. But in the time since that last video, things have kind of gone too well in a sense, in that the custodians are doing great now, and I never actually find Speckles' excrement anymore. It's always cleaned up before I can see it. But you may notice that the plants have disappeared, and that is because the custodians are actually doing so well that they've actually eaten the plants. They sort of chewed through the base. The little sort of blue Echeveria, you can kind of see it at the left, right beneath my finger. It's just right down there. It's not attached to any roots. And you may be able to see in the darkness over here the rest of the snake plant. It doesn't really rot very quickly, and it still looks nice even though it's not alive, so I've just thrown that there. But yeah, his setup is doing quite well, and I'll just take you in for a quick close-up of him. So as you can see, there's Speckles. He's lying out with his tail right underneath the UVB bulb. I'll try and zoom in, see if you can see his head. Right back there. It's kind of too dark for the camera to pick up, but he's definitely got a head anyway. So if I just zoom out here, you can kind of see that there are lots of woodlice about, which is great. That's what you want in a bioactive system. But over here, you can see that that plant has completely been chewed down, and that is the base of the snake plant. So unfortunately, we have lost the plants, but his setup is otherwise doing well, and that is something that I can fix. So next up in this reptile room tour is, of course, Splat the crested gecko. Now, Splat hasn't really changed at all since the last video. He is doing really well. He has actually quite taken to Arcadia's sticky foot gold crested gecko diet, which he wasn't really eating in the past, but he is really going for that now. His setup, you may notice, has become quite overgrown. I did cut out loads of plant matter this morning, so it's the first time I've actually had to do it. Well, I've been able to do it without taking up time revising and whatever for exams, so it was good to get that done. But you can tell that the devil's ivy, or pothos, which is the stuff with the really wide leaves, that has really taken over. And apart from the Neogelia bromeliads in the top right, that has just taken over the setup. Now, this is something I do want to work on over the summer. I do have plans to change the planting in this system because the bromeliads on the lower levels just were not getting enough light or air, and they weren't doing well, so I do plan to change them out. So that is something to look forward to. But now I will just take you in close so that you can have a better look at Splat. So as you can see, there he is up there. He's asleep at the minute, and I'm going to try and not wake him up. He's directly beneath his UVB bulb, although that does need changing shortly. And you can see his colours. He kind of looks almost symmetrically patterned with the two dots at the top there, which I've never really noticed before, but when he's like this, you can see. If I zoom right in, you can see the actual texture. He's got, when he's asleep like this, he does turn a brown and white colour, but when he's awake and fired up, he turns a more red base colour and orange instead of the white, which is quite cool. But yeah, Splat is doing really well. I've just got to change his plants. So clearly, Red the corn snake's cage, which is what you're looking at right now, has changed the most since you last saw it. because the last time you saw it, it was an attempt at a bioactive setup for him, but that just has not worked out at all. He was just destroying the plants, and I had taken them out and potted them. I've still got them, they are growing quite well now. But yesterday I did get round to taking out all the soil and putting in some lignocell. It's just temporary this, because honestly these sort of sterile setups, in my opinion, just aren't the best that I can possibly manage to give to my animals. And really, for any animal keeper, it should be a goal to give them the best that you possibly can. And Red's setup I am going to be completely redoing in just over a month's time. In the next couple of days you'll kind of see more of my plans, because I do have some big plans for the near future, and Red is part of those plans, so do look out for that. But Red himself, he is doing quite well in his old sort of bioactive, well, half bioactive setup. The custodians and plants had just completely failed. It was more just a naturalistic setup. He himself is doing well, although his scales were getting a bit scuffed by being in all the dry soil, because again I just didn't have the time to look after the system properly, so it did fail. But anyway, regardless, I did get some clips of Red this morning when he was out and about, so I'll show you those now. So I am going to end this bit of a whistle-stop tour of a video off just giving some updates whilst we look at the fish tank, because obviously a lot has changed in the time of being off, and I didn't want to spend too much of this video looking at the reptiles themselves, because they are going to be featured in many more videos throughout the summer, and I would like to just take a minute to discuss the plans. So obviously you may recognise that we did reach 1,000 subscribers recently, which I'm not going to talk about now because it's something that deserves a video on its own. Although if you have any particularly good ideas that you want to share for a 1k sub special, then do post them down in the comments section. I do plan to upload at least 2 videos a week. I am going to try and push for 3, but that might just be a few too many. But obviously I've got 11 weeks off school now, which is amazing, so I am going to try and upload as often as I can. Now those videos are going to be videos on replanting Splat setup, updates, continuing the bioactive basics series, and we do have some bigger things coming up. So like Red's new enclosure and other new things, which I won't talk about just yet. But obviously there is a lot coming up, and I do hope you'll stick around for that. I'm going to try and get my next video out for Thursday, and that should be quite an important video. That is why there's a bit of a break between now and uploading that. But regardless, I do hope that you did enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.